Hey y'all, this podcast contains potentially disturbing content. Our show includes graphic references to topics such as sexual abuse, self-harm, violence, eating disorders, explicit language, and sexual acts. Listener discretion is advised. This show is for mature audiences only.
Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Queer LBC Podcast. I'm your host, Nino. My pronouns are he, him. Thank you for asking. I have with me here my fabulous cohorts.
Yo, it's me, Christoph, your city top liaison. My pronouns are he, him, and that motherfucker.
Dr. Mikey here, your local licensed and practicing therapist for entertainment purposes only. My pronouns are he, she, all of them. So what's the tea, sis?
The tea is...
Today in Gay, LGBTQ plus leaders urge California lawmakers to restore devastating cuts to health equity programs. Also in Gay, California LGBTQ plus veteran memorial to be dedicated Saturday in Cathedral City. What do you queens know about these topics?
I did hear about the cuts to like health equity programs that Newsom did. It was a few weeks ago. Yeah. So I did hear about that when it first went down, and I'm glad to see that organizations and our leaders are stepping in to advocate to bring back the funding that was lost.
I don't even know what happened. I'm just head spun on.
So Newsom announced that they're going to, because of $3.1 million deficit in the budget, that they're going to cut a lot of LGBTQ plus health programs in California. And these programs that were going to be cut impacted housing, it impacted healthcare. There was other places. What was it?
I'm going to say like AIDS outreach and things of that nature.
Things of that nature.
Yeah, because I know a lot of programming around like PrEP and like HIV prevention and like things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the programs that were going to be cut supported the LGBTQ health equity, LGBTQ plus foster youth, and access to reproductive health care. And PrEP and Doxy PrEP and all that fall under reproductive health care. And the grants also funded grassroots mental health services, trauma-informed care, peer support, and capacity building in underserved regions and communities. So because of a budget deficit, they're planning on cutting all of these things. And the thing too is this money was already awarded to these organizations. So now they're resending the contracts that are associated with it. So technically, I know in working with mental health, when you get a contract, you get a big lump sum of money and you spend it throughout the year. And it's already planned what you're going to do with this money. So like these people have to go and scramble and figure out how they're going to continue to provide these services if they can even provide them.
Right. And how they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But this makes me mad because why is there such a big deficit in the budget? $31 million, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What'd y'all do with this money? How do you miscalculate this shit? I mean, I know where it's going. It's going to cops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. You can't just unfund.
Yeah, but that's what they're going to do. I was also not surprised that this happened because after hearing Newsom on his podcast not support the trans community and talking about trans athletes, I think it was only a matter of time that this was going to happen. Because I really do think he's trying to become and be put in his hat for president in the next election.
Yeah.
And Democrats are centrist, and he's trying to appeal to the Republican Party in order to win, which I guess that makes sense because even though California is Democratic, there's a lot of Republican states.
I mean, he's going a little crazy right now, isn't he?
He's doing a lot of things.
I don't know. I feel like I need to just I don't know. What can you say about Gavin at this point? Except for now, he's holding it down against Trump, allegedly. I don't know.
Is he? I don't believe he is.
That's why I say allegedly.
Yeah.
I'll hold my thoughts until we get to the...
Right.
to the interview.
I know a lot of thoughts, but yeah, I think this is devastating. I think we need to, on top of all the other things we need to be speaking out against, this is definitely one, because I think this is going to have like a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I know World Pride was in DC this year. And I've seen a lot of people traveling to go to, like, it was all over my feed. But a licensed social worker based in Philly said that they're excited to be among the queer and trans community at World Pride, but told CBS News that Trump administration has definitely been on their mind. DC is not necessarily a place that many people would think of as a super safe and comfortable right now, given the current administration and their attacks on the LGBTQ community, especially trans people, especially trans youth. Meg Tan-Yeek, founder and CEO of travel platform Every Queer and vice chairman of the board of directors for the International LGBTQ Travel Association, has been to dozens of Pride events across the world, from the miles-long parade at New York City's World Pride to a Pride in Kyiv, Ukraine in 2015 that was targeted with Molotov cocktails amid protest. What is happening socially and politically changed the feeling of the Pride that you are attending, she said, adding she anticipates World Pride this year is going to bring an astronomical amount of fear and sadness from people, as well as some potential violence. So that was before Pride, of course. But from my social media, I've seen that a lot of people were having a great time, and it wasn't really too much of violence. At least it didn't get a lot of newsworthiness, but even on social media and stuff, it really didn't seem like everybody was having a good time and everybody was feeling the love, even though the love is not, reciprocated from the DC legislators of the Republican Party.
True. Yeah, I didn't see anything so far negative in my feed either. Not that I have a feed anymore. I just have nothing. But no, yeah. Everything that I've seen looks like people are having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that Doechii was there. That would be cool. I would love to see Doechii live.
Did you guys do anything for Pride?
I only went to Long Beach Pride when it happened in May. Actually, when I was in New York, I went to Queens Pride.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so the boroughs and the cities in there have like their own pride, like they do now here in LA, which I love. So I went to Queens Pride, which is in Brooklyn, like a little area of Brooklyn. It was really cool. It was very like Latino. We went into like a bars and it was packed. Think of like WeHo packed during Pride, where you can barely walk and like people are just squished together. It was like that, but it was cool. It was a great vibe. They had like DJs and like there was a bunch of people on the street. It was cool. I enjoyed it.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, so I did that in New York.
You said you went to Stonewall?
I did go to Stonewall.
How was that?
It was cool. So I had to research because I was like, I knew there was something about the location that was a little different. So Stonewall, the original Stonewall that was involved in the uprising, is now 2 locations. So back then it was 1, but now it's 2. And the second location is a little Stonewall museum. But I went too late, so I wasn't able to go into the museum. But in Stonewall was really cool. It's pretty big. For some reason, I imagine it being super tiny. I don't know why.
So is it like a real bar?
It is a real bar. It's still a real bar. So the museum is in one part of the old bar, and then the other part of the bar is in the original part of Stonewall. So the whole bar got split into 2 different things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not 2 different sides of Queens. I mean, New York. It's still the same area.
It's same location, same address as the original.
Building.
Yeah. Yeah. So they just separated the bar into 2 different things. A bar and a museum that commemorates Stonewall.
Oh, no.
And yeah, it's pretty big. It has like upstairs, which was really cool. And obviously they celebrate the fact that Pride started there, or that the uprising started there. So they have like the original sign that said, what did it say? It was, this is the rated bar. And then it was like stamped by like the NYPD.
Oh.
Yeah. And they sell t-shirts and stuff like that with that sign. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. How historical.
Yeah, it was very historical and you got a drink. It was perfect.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and the Stonewall's in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else gay you did for Pride?
I mean, I only did the same. Only did Long Beach Pride for the kickoff for Pride season. But I'm also contemplating on going to San Francisco's Pride this year because that's one Pride I haven't been to in California.
Okay.
I feel that one's gonna be wild.
I think a lot of people say, like, you know what, it's not as crazy as WeHo.
Oh, really?
Because I think a lot of people after the parade goes to like the park, and it's more like chill and, you know, but we'll see. See what kind of riffraff I get into.
I mean, I have my little Pride neon rainbow, but I feel like I bought that for Pride Month and I would put it away so it would be special when you bring it out on Pride Month. But now it's just like out 24/7, so it's not special for Pride Month anymore.
Need something new.
So I need something new. Pride Monthy. What should I get?
I don't know. What can you do Pride Monthy? You do like a Pride Christmas tree.
Oh,
Like a little small one. You know that the small Christmas tree,
like a rainbow one
with some gay things on it.
I have to go find the perfect rainbow one.
Yeah.
That would be
like
cute.
if you went to the parades, I'm quite sure you can get a lot of, excuse me, you know,
fans
or like.
Can we just like decorate bricks? Get bricks and just decorate them.
Oh, bricks, yes. I was like, brick.
Brick house.
Any other quick teas? Like, that's it. The timer's up. We already went over anyways.
Right.
We're terrible at this.
We're trying hard.
Are y'all still thirsty?
No, I mean, I was kind of parched.
I still need some little to quench your thirst. See? It's a little less, huh?
Well, we only did one article.
I did one. Exactly. All right. Guess these queens have deserved a break.
Hey y'all, Christoph here, and we just wanted to say thank you for all the love and support, but don't forget to go ahead and give us a 5-star review, a like, a heart, a comment. You know they all help the podcast a lot. From all of us here at the Queer LBC, we greatly appreciate you. Now back to the show.
And we're back. So today we're talking about something that hits close to home for a lot of people, but doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves. ICE raids and deportations. What happens when your safety, your home, and your future can be taken from you at any moment? What does it feel like to live under that kind of pressure, and how do communities respond? When the government comes knocking, to help us get into this, we've got a very special guest with us today, Andrew. Hey, Andrew, and welcome to the show. Why don't you kick things off by telling us in your own words, who are you? What are you? Why are you?
Thank you guys for having me, and thank you, Walter, for extending the invite. So who am I, what am I, and why I am what I am, right? So again, my name is Andrew. I'm actually born and raised in East Los Angeles. My family came from Mexico in the early 80s, and pretty much I would say I share a lot of commonalities with a lot of Mexican families because I came from, I would say, a 2-person household. My mom and my dad, split up really early. My mom, unfortunately, did not have, citizenship, residency, and, the things that people need to kind of survive right here in the US. And yeah, that made my growth, my experience just what it is today. There was a lot of, I would say, challenges when it came to being able to provide for the family. And yeah, that kind of just really, opened my eyes as a young kid to, pursue something better than, what my family had been able to offer me. So who am I? I'm, 32-year-old gay male who has 2 siblings that are, one in college and my other one is about to graduate high school. My mom still does not have citizenship. She is a U.S. resident. Thank God, of course, for that. But I'm just somebody who is, very in tune with what's going on right now. And, it's something that is very difficult to process, to watch and to observe. But I do really have a lot of sympathy and just really a lot of feelings. And I'm sure, you guys might feel the same way. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, kind of just in the whole, brief snapshot. And yeah, just doing the best that I can right now. I'm processing all the information that's been going on, and just really hoping to see something change. Yeah, I know that's easier said than done, but it's something that, yeah, it's just really close and really, hurts my heart. But yeah, hopefully that was a, somewhat of an introduction. But as we go, we can kind of, dissect a little bit more.
Well, thank you for being here. So, have you had some firsthand experience with the ICE raids?
So, yes, my brothers. So, my mom, when she came in the 80s, quickly acclimated herself to the US and had me when she was 17. So, when she had me when she was 17, she was not ready to be a mother. And my grandmother took care of me for the most part. But my mom started having kids again when she was 29, and her second baby daddy, she had 2 kids, my siblings, was also undocumented. So he was actually picked up from our house back in 2008 at like about 6 a.m. My mom was getting ready to leave and drop him off at work, and they opened the door and they actually like barged in and took him out. It was actually not even ICE. Before, they had a different name. I think it was like INS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, they came and they looked for him and they took him. And I actually was out of the household at that time. I was at Cal State LA. And
wait, they took your middle brother?
No, they took the baby daddy. So my stepdad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they snatched him up in the morning and he was gone. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was that, he was working under an alias. So because of that, they were able to kind of like track him, and it was easier. But, he was doing what he needed to do, was go to work. And yeah, I got that devastating call that morning where my mom was just like bawling, like did not even know how to process her words. And I just, with all that being said, like, these past couple of days, seeing like the videos and all this, like it's actually like brought all these feelings of that moment of that phone call, and like literally having to get up and leave. I wasn't even in class that day. I was waking up in the morning and I just left campus, and because I was actually in that area, living outside of campus. But I went to the house and just I didn't know how to process all that. But yeah, we struggled without my stepdad, and I mean, even though I don't have the best relationship with him, I mean, he was still the man of the household, and still the father of my 2 brothers. And yeah, he's been gone since. Damn,
That's crazy.
What was kind of the impact of him being removed from the house?
It was a quick, like, mind fuck for me, but at the same time, like, you need to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I stepped up from afar. I mean, not even from afar. I mean, I've always been very involved in my brother's life because, when he was born, I was 14. So, having a little sibling at 14, you're like, oh, little baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had, blessed again at 16. So I was always very involved when they were born. But at that point, it was more so like, not by force, but it was like, okay, my mom has nobody. She doesn't have him anymore. So quickly in like 2 months, she's like, I cannot afford this place. So we had to like get up and move and things like that. Well, help her move.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, ever since then, they've been raised without a father. But the good thing I will say is that, like, again, as I said, but my brother, he's 19. He's at Cal State Fullerton, psychology major, in his starting his second year.
Nice. Something
Something that I didn't accomplish. Actually, I dropped out of Cal State LA that same year because I needed to work. And it was just, I didn't have like the fundamentals like a lot of other people, and I went to school kind of thinking like I could do this, but I had a lot of dysfunction. I didn't have a father as well, my dad. So yeah, like I wasn't set up for success, but I'm happy my brother is achieving what I haven't been able to achieve, and doing great, and my other brother as well. So right now they're very in tune with the political climate. I wasn't at that age, so I'm just seeing a lot of things that make me proud about them, a lot of character, traits.
Yeah.
And just seeing that they're so aware, and that really makes me proud. So yeah.
That's crazy. So what do you think about all this crazy shit that's happening and all these and the protests? What do you think when you see all the people out there defending the idea of immigrants in the country?
Well, I think back to, all the historical civil rights, issues and, sort of progress that we've made in this country. And honestly, like there was times in this country that, we had civil war, and there was times in this country that people protested and lost their lives.
Yeah.
Buildings burned down, things being torn up. And sometimes I'm not, condoning looting. I'm not condoning, violence, but I am really saying that, sometimes it takes, that
extreme
measure to kind of get your voice heard. And I stand strong with that. Like, I think it's, and when we show up in numbers, like we're strong. But, I think, the unfortunate part is that we're seeing a lot of people kind of like, I guess, taking advantage of that. And it's just really counterproductive. If anything, it's kind of like giving the people that are not supporting the immigrant community kind of like, look, you guys cannot handle, or I don't know, you guys are not like, this is exactly the reason why we have to send in, National Guard and, the military force. But those are some of the bad apples, but at the end of the day, I know, me being out in the protest, like I haven't participated, in these protests right now. I won because I do sometimes fear, like, I don't want anything to happen to me. And then I have my brothers and my mom, and literally we're such a small family. Like all my family is back in Mexico. So I don't know. I kind of like, sometimes get scared about that piece, but as far as like, being like active, like voice and like, still participating in like campaigns and things like that. Like I used to work for an LGBT organization as well for like over 5 years, and I did political advocacy, knocking on doors, getting out to vote campaigns, things of that nature. So I've always been like a social justice type of, activist and person by nature. But yeah, I just right now it's like a little crazy out there. So I feel a little weary, but at the end of the day, like today was my first time posting on Instagram about the whole situation, just because I've been kind of silent. Like I just trying to understand and process everything. But today I was just like, whoa, like, more Marines are coming into the whole conversation. And it's like, really? Like, so it's just, yeah, today was, I would say today was for sure like the day where it really did hit me. And I posted on Instagram, just reflecting to people, like I actually had to have a conversation today about everything that's going on, because as I said, my mom's a resident. She became a resident in 2007. So like a year before my stepdad got deported. She was here on a work permit. And yeah, she's been a resident since. But before that, she got into a little bit of trouble when she was young. So she hasn't applied for citizenship because they actually do like a in-depth background.
Oh, okay.
But I told her, like, you should have done it before, when things were common. Now it's like, there's no way you can do that. Like, I don't want you to go near an airport. We're not going out of the country.
Yeah.
You're
stay in the house, stay put. You need something, I'll go to the grocery store for you.
That's the sad part though, is that like people have to do that. Like I have some friends and they're really laying low. They're like, I'm just going to work and back and that's it.
Yep. Yeah. And it's crazy because sometimes you may not even be fucking safe at work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at where all the raids are happening.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's just like you just got to put your head on a swivel and just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of activity out there, but I do feel somewhat like I hope that I can't like live in fear, and I can't say like don't go to work, don't do this, but she drives to work in the morning, and I just gotta hope that she comes back. Like she's a resident. Again, she has a permanent residency, but we're seeing that people that are even permanent residents are being picked up, and it doesn't
even
really
citizens.
matter. Even citizens. So it's like, like for me, if I were to be picked up, I know at the end of the day, nothing's gonna really then happen to me. I might struggle in detention or whatever, or, but I'm still gonna like come back. My mom, they could make any little excuse that she passed a red light or I don't know what, and strip her of her status, and that's the thing that kind of scares me. So, but again, I think we just need to be, I guess, optimistic even in the darkest times, and just kind of think that hopefully this is a temporary moment, even though I don't see any near end in near sight. But yeah, she has to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to continue to live, and it's just really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I know you did mention that, since the Marines is being, deployed, but Governor, we was talking about an article earlier that we wanted to discuss, that Governor Newsom has filed an emergency motion in federal court to block National Guard members and Marines from assisting with immigration raids in Los Angeles. Trump is turning the U.S. military against American citizens, Newsom wrote on X. President Donald Trump originally deployed guards to protect federal building and personnel, which is bullshit, as we know, back on February 6th.
Mm-hmm.
But the governor's request says that the state's military department was told that the Pentagon plans to direct the California National Guard to start providing support for immigration operations. So hopefully with that motion that he's going to place with the courts, hopefully that'll not allow the Marines to, because I haven't touched down there. I haven't crossed the 91. So
yeah, I haven't been out there.
I don't know if they're there. I know the National Guards were deployed, but I don't know if they hit the ground.
Yeah, no, they're there. The National Guard are standing right outside of all the federal buildings in downtown LA.
Oh, okay.
The Marines are the ones that were like sent, I think, yesterday, and they're like coming today or tomorrow.
Something like that.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a downer, but I'm like, how the fuck is they're like, oh, we filed a lawsuit against you. And then what? The army disappears? The fuck? Like, okay, he wasn't even allowed to do it in the first place.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So-
right. It is, exactly.
You're right.
It wasn't even, that's not even the fucking use of the Marines. But you're right. But
So what the fuck is a lawsuit gonna do? Like is it gonna be at the point where, okay, well, he disobeys the lawsuit, so now what? Then the
Hold them in contempt.
the California military has to come out and fight the U.S. military? Is this what's gonna happen? Like,
But the issue I have with this situation is LA is supposed to be a sanctuary city, just like Long Beach, right? But then if you're a sanctuary city, then why is LAPD, why are the sheriffs out there protecting ICE? Like, why are they being
Exactly.
turned on to the protesters?
Right.
If you're a sanctuary city, you shouldn't be doing that. It should be the other way around. If anything, cops should sit down. This is not their fight. They're just going to make things worse.
They already made that statement, right?
Exactly, right. So I don't understand. You're not a sanctuary city, and I feel like Gavin Newsom is just talking the talk, and he's not showing with actions. Like, these are your police. You can control them and tell them what to do. And what you're doing, you're having them protect these raids and this agency, and that's not okay.
True. Have you been over there? Have you guys seen anything? I mean, because there's shit happening like everywhere, right? Like Compton is like a big.
See, I was out of town over the weekend, so I seen everything on social media.
Oh,
So I was like, what in the hell is going on? And then it was just like, okay, that's, LA gonna always show up and show out. You ain't gonna come and disrespect LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, so LA has always been like, I don't want to say like a leader in regards of like residents is gonna show up
civil rights
for civil rights and like wrongdoing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I already knew that was going to be the jump, but I didn't realize that in reality, I should have never been like, it's fucking crazy because they doing it like almost like thugs. Like it's not even official. Like you had in your face, because they got families and shit like that. Get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
It's you're wearing Vans.
Yeah. I mean,
Have you seen that? Like, what the fuck?
Right, like,
What is stopping me from going on Amazon, buying a fucking shit like you see, and just beating the shit out of whoever the fuck I want?
Yeah, they're literally
Exactly.
just terrorizing communities. They're a terrorist organization at this point.
And that's why I try to stay off of social media, because I also seen recently that some ICE agent in a parking lot all the way over starts running through traffic and shit, and just like body slam this old man on the fucking ground on his way to work.
I did see that.
Like, you didn't address yourself. You didn't even give this motherfucker a chance to stand up and like, it was like mind-boggling.
You're
It's so
violating rights.
disrespectful.
Mayor Bass actually said that she's like, I believe that this is like an experiment to see how much he can get away with.
Yeah,
Like, we're like the first ones to be kind of like tested, and of course, like, it's Los Angeles where we're right
You have a
by the
history.
border. Exactly. So I think because of that, like, it seems like it like they're just kind of like go out and fetch them all, and
Mhm.
and that's exactly what they're doing. But today, I know Mayor Bass actually has a curfew at 8. So if you're like in downtown LA, you can't be out after 8. You have to either work or live there. So
See, and that's another thing. Like, why are you stopping protesting like that? Like,
well, it's probably, and I could see the other end of it, and it's probably to make sure that they're safe, because ain't no telling what the motherfuckers gonna do.
well, it's because I think it was because of the looting, because like all the looting that was happening last night, it all took place at night. So because it's probably 8 o'clock, I don't know, people don't protest, after in the nighttime, or do they? Or maybe they do. I don't know. But I mean, usually
depends,
I think it's before that, to kind of just like public safety. But I'm sure they can protest again, starting in the morning. It's just more so like a safety issue at night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down to keep the protests to like cute hours, as long as like the mainstream media would actually portray the protests that are happening like legitimately, which they're not.
Yeah.
And it's like so many of them are just like acting, they keep calling them riots, and it's like, girl.
And she even said it's actually not even that. Like, this is just, it's a couple blocks where this is all happening close to the federal buildings. It's not happening all over Los Angeles, as they're saying. I mean, I still feel safe in my neighborhood. I know people, and well, for the most part, right? But you do feel a little bit just kind of weary. Like, is ICE just in the parking lot?
Lurking,
Right now, I was actually driving down Cherry, because I live close to the Home Depot, and I actually saw a post earlier that they were there. The one here in Signal Hill. So I was just kind of like peeking to see if I can see any like trucks or anything like that. But it looked actually pretty empty. And so, I mean, hopefully they're not there, and hopefully it was a false alarm. But they're pretty much, they know the spots. Really, they know the spots. And right now, I think they're really emboldened. They're seeing the chaos, and with more chaos, they're like, we have more reason to. So
it almost feels like they're just like, like putting on a show so that they can have like all this like video and show what's going on, so they can just like, obviously we already know what's going on. So they can spin the narrative and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just like a couple blocks. But those little couple blocks and like those little like videos, they do like make you feel like, oh my God, like it's all happening.
Yeah.
And like we're all gonna die, or this is the revolution. So like get your gird your loins. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I also saw a video today that on Saturday, I don't know if you guys heard, on this Saturday, it's like, I don't know, Trump said it's like America's birthday or like something, a celebration in DC, but they're spending a lot of money. And he said if anybody is out there protesting, he's going to meet them with military force.
Wow.
And it's this Saturday. So, everybody stay tuned, watch on TV, see what's going to happen with that. But I'm sure there's going to be protesters.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it's not going to stop people.
Let me see exactly what that it's something.
I don't know. Personally, I feel very like rageful in this situation, because I feel it's like, why are we doing this again? Because I remember being in high school and doing the walkout for immigration.
Yeah.
And out of that, we got DACA, right? But like, that's still not enough, right? And the thing is, like, why do we continue to protest? And my thing is, everyone's always peaceful protest. It's like, girl, we've been peacefully protesting for decades. Like, how do you expect people to stay calm when there is no change and they still feel disenfranchised? Like, at this point, I'm like, burn this shit down. Like, there needs to. I'm like pro violence. Like, get that shit. Like, you're not listening to us when we write letters, when we message you, when we're out there with our pickets and how you want us to protest. Like, what is it going to take for y'all to listen and understand that real change needs to happen?
Exactly.
But also, property damage is not violence.
I agree. That is facts.
That's true.
It's how it's spun. And I was actually watching something on TikTok commenting on how the protesters shouldn't have Mexican flags, and I don't agree with that.
Say that one more time.
There's some TikTokers, influencers who are advocating not to have Mexican flags in the protests, like as people are picketing and marching, because they want to focus on the optics of it. And so they're like, media is going to take these pictures of people with Mexican flags and make it look like there's an invasion from Mexico by Mexican people.
Okay.
And I'm like, I mean, I guess if you're stupid, but
Yeah,
but
I mean, half of the country was when they voted.
That is true, yeah. And the thing is I don't agree with that, because because they're advocating to only American flags.
Mhm.
And I'm like, because they're like, we want to see that this brutality is happening to American citizens. And I'm like, it is happening to American citizens. Why do we have to have American flag to show that we're American citizens? That's already inherently like racist. It gives me the icks when I hear that. And like when you're saying no Mexican flags, it also gives me like all lives matter vibes.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
And again, all this land used to be Mexico. So it's
Exactly.
like the people never left.
Mhm.
We've always been here.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
what do you
The border
want to do?
crossed
You know?
us.
Exactly.
The fuck?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand why people get like so like upset when they see Mexican flags or like Spanish billboards.
Mhm.
I feel like that's also like things that people get mad at is like seeing Spanish in
Yeah.
like the American sector,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
which is just racism.
Yeah. I'm like, that's capitalism, sis. You like capitalism. This is what you
Right?
get with it.
Guess not. Not when you do it.
Yeah. Right? Only when we do it.
So that thing that I was talking about earlier was it's basically a parade that's being held in Washington, D.C. that's going to mark the U.S.'s Army's 250th anniversary.
Wow.
So that's what he said. He's like, if there is any protest at this military parade on June 14th, we will be met with heavy force. So that's like a straight up threat. That's a straight up threat. So
That is.
But what was seeing that's fucking crazy because he always talking shit. And it's just like, what was that same energy when the federal building was being taken over by your homies?
Well, because that suited him.
Because it's his homies. And then speaking of his homies, the people who are funding the detention centers that ICE are putting individuals in was a major motherfucking contributor of his motherfucking campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like a kickback, like, hey, that's he's doing this for them motherfuckers to make money.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all about money, but everybody over here like, oh no, like our safety. Fuck.
Yeah.
Get the fuck up out of here with that.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. And if you believe that, I hope you choke on a fat dick.
Just
On
trying
a
to
thin
distract
dick.
from the Epstein files.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
the Musk.
That's the whole reason.
Yeah. That's wild. But yeah, like prisons are a big lucrative thing now.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
and it makes sense. And they have to spin that Mexicans or immigrants are monsters, so you can justify treating them like monsters.
But in South Africa, they're killing white people.
Oh my
Oh, I
god!
know.
You say what?
In
The
South
white
Africa.
There's a white
The white
genocide.
genocide?
White
You hear about the
Hell.
white genocide in
Yeah.
South Africa?
So let's
make believe shit too.
let's
Yeah.
allow
Mhm.
them to flee that country and come to the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're here now.
and they're here now. So
They actually got VIP treatment. They came on a plane
yeah,
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense, right?
with seats. Like most motherfuckers would have to get under the plane
Mhm.
with the cargo.
hmm But I mean, you see the common denominator here, right? You know, we're
Mhm.
seeing what's going on. So, I mean, you don't have to be you could be blind and probably still see that. It's,
Right.
you know, like it is what it is. But,
yeah.
I mean,
They love playing dumb as fuck, though. They love
Yeah.
playing dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I will say that ever since everything's gone down, like everything is like eerily quiet. Like I remember I went out after work to do some grocery shopping and like the streets were pretty empty and it was really quiet. So I'm like, oh, this is really weird.
yeah.
It's definitely weird vibes.
It is. And also what is also weird, there's a lot of it's ceremony season. So
Mhm.
like, you know, I'm not sure on how that's going to play out. Like I know the Tonys
Oh.
was recently
Mm-hmm.
and the BET just had their awards
Mhm.
last night. And
Well,
a
I
lot
mean,
of
I
people,
seen a video saying, "Oh, there's ice right outside of a fucking
Yeah,
graduation
so-
ceremony."
Oh, yeah, I
right.
heard
So
about
they
those.
just everywhere. And
Yeah.
then like and this is the time where the people that we support in regards of mainstream media and mainstream entertainment, if you support these motherfuckers and they ain't speaking up, they ain't using
Mhm.
their platform for the good, then like should we really be rocking with these motherfuckers
Right?
at this time?
Mm-mm.
Because like the only person that really said something yesterday on the ceremonies, which I seen online, was Doshi.
Mm-hmm.
And like literally called it what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but where's like everybody? And I know it's like, you know what? This is business. Like I had to look out for my livelihood, but also like, do you?
Yeah.
You will be
You got
all right.
enough. You
I
got
mean, I
enough.
feel like
Right.
if you're so high profile, you're not gonna if you get snatched. Because there was that one, what was it? That streamer who got snatched up by I don't know who took him. They was like
in Vegas, that was he like a TikToker?
I don't know that fucking streamer guy, that like white boy.
Oh,
Anyways,
Mm.
but like if you're so high profile, like a celebrity, and you get pulled into jail or like pulled into like detention or pulled into questioning because of your like beliefs, like nothing's really going to happen to you anyways. So it's like you need to speak up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Exactly.
But nobody
you can
is.
pay the fine.
Yeah.
You can pay for a lawyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to look at that too for the motherfuckers who are staying quiet, who we also like to,
Not speak
support.
up.
Yeah.
That we usually support.
But maybe they're quiet for a reason. Maybe they know somebody
right?
who's too
And
close
sometimes
to them.
motherfuckers don't got to bark to be actually doing work behind the scenes. So I do understand that. But also, like, because I don't bark, but, I make sure I keep people informed. And it's just crazy because I know I was telling you earlier, but one of my coworkers, her friend brother is a U.S. citizen, born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
USA. U as of a fucking A. ICE are just now going on fucking looks
Mm-hmm.
because now he got picked up. So now they got to try to like get him his passport so he can come back. And it's just like, what is they actually doing? Like,
Yeah.
where y'all getting these photos? Where y'all getting this data from?
Mhm.
Where's this data coming from? Because
Right. That's the other thing is like they build themselves up to be this like, we have all the data on you and we know everything you're
about-
doing,
right.
but then you can't even get the right
you're
person.
getting the wrong
Like ever?
motherfuckers every other day.
What the fuck?
That's true though. Where all this money?
So I
Right.
guess it's just to cause trauma on purpose.
Yeah, and cause mayhem. They're doing this shit on purpose so that everything get riled up, and they take the attention away from the motherfucker who it needs to be on, which is that motherfucker in office.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because ever since him and his boyfriend broke up, ain't nobody heard shit.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was weird, just weird watching all this shit on the TV, and it's just like, what is just like trying to think of like what is like the most valuable thing that you could possibly do at this point with your like time and your effort and your
Yeah.
resources. And it's kind of like hard because it's like, well, what the fuck can you do? Any ideas?
Well, I mean, I think you just need to keep talking about it. You need to keep it in people's minds because if you don't, people are going to forget. People have short attention spans, right?
Yeah.
And I think we need to educate people on like the situation and like how to respond and react to ICE if they're in the neighborhood. And actually, Long Beach, let me pull it up. Long Beach there's an organization,
yeah.
Long Beach Orale Community Defense Network.
Okay.
You can call 562-245-9575 and you can report if ICE is in the area so that way they can send out a warning.
Nice.
So
Yes,
it's
I
like a
remember that,
ICE
yeah.
like watch out
Watch out.
neighborhood
Where
watch.
is this warning coming from?
For people who's out in the community.
No, but
So-
how did you get this warning? How do I receive the warning?
Oh, well, you probably have to,
Text
Yeah.
the number and maybe get like a text
like a
message.
Something,
text
yeah.
alert.
I mean, I think that's a good way to start sharing
Mhm.
resources and having these conversations. And, for people, at least for me, like that's why I did take a minute to kind of post about it, even though I haven't been, because I know that like back in my hometown, there's a lot of people that were undocumented that I knew,
Mhm.
actual students that I went to high school with. So, and I still have them on Instagram. So I always kind of think like, I wonder how they're doing or like, so I
It's
just,
hard.
Yeah.
It has to be hard.
Yep.
I was away and then like one of my friends, their partner is DACA. But now they like, because you never know what the fuck is going to happen.
mm-hmm.
So they had to go and, try to work on that and see if, but it's just like, I wouldn't know. I would just be mentally unstable. I would, like, if I had to literally go through that and just like, I don't know if a motherfucker just gonna come in and wow me the fuck up and ship me out.
Yeah.
Couldn't eat.
I mean, especially if the person
like to
who's
eat.
like taking you away doesn't even like identify themselves. If somebody was to roll up you in the street and just try to take you away,
What the hell?
Yeah,
that's like,
Right.
anybody?
Just
I'm
because
just
you
gonna
got
let
on
that
fucking
happen?
army fatigue and it say fucking
Right?
whatever the fuck. Anybody can. Where
Especially
your credentials?
they don't even have like they're not even pretending to have like full army fatigues either. They're like in jeans
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
and tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fucking
like-
leggings. No,
So
like what
unserious.
the fuck? No.
It almost kind of feels like at the point where it's like you just have to make the decision like, you know what?
I'm gonna be on the wrong side of the of history. So let me just go ahead and
roll you out and just take care of business.
Like, let's say I carry a weapon on myself just because I carry a knife. Like, let's just say, right? And I carry it for protection. I'm walking down the street and that happens to me, and somebody like is grabbing me or assaulting me. I don't know who the hell they are.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I were to, protect myself.
Could be anybody.
Then what would happen to me? Yeah,
like
federal
that
crime.
motherfucker didn't say nothing to me.
Exactly. But
stand my ground.
What would happen? It would spin it.
Yeah.
Federal crime or something like that. And then, at the end of the day, I go to jail. But it's like they're not showing identification. They're not showing warrants of arrest. They're just going for it and literally kidnapping people. So
yeah, that's what it is, really. And just terrorizing communities. Like, what do you expect? How do you think people are going to respond if these random people come in and start snatching people up?
Right.
What do you expect?
Right. You don't think let somebody snatch your motherfucking family up.
Yeah.
You just gonna sit there and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck? Yeah, get the fuck off. Who the fuck?
Yeah, like I landed back in LA from New York on the day the raid in Paramount happened. And like, it's just right here up the street, like literally. And you just see all the helicopters, and it's just so much of a commotion of trying to like vilify the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I feel like also they forget like LA is like not like cute and like they're gonna fight back.
Yeah.
Like we already seen them fight back. We seen them on the car. And like those kind of guys, like despite what everyone's like saying, like we need to like be more chill and calm. Like it was peaceful protests for one.
Yeah.
And for two, when they come and agitate you and they are like stomping on you and they're like having horses jump over you and smash you and like beating you with sticks. And it's like you're expecting people to like remain calm in that situation when like thugs without fucking identification are just doing whatever the fuck they want. And you're saying, what? Who's the good guy and the bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, girl, I think it's a little bit chaos. I think so. What was I saying? Anyways, these types of guys who are on the cars, it's like we have people like that who live here. So like that's what you're gonna get. Like you're not gonna get some kind of like stand downtown. Like you're gonna go into Santa Ana and you're going to Compton and you think they're gonna just like take your shit. They're not.
I mean, look at Watts Riot, the Rotten and King, uprising, the Zoot Suit, uprising back in the day. Like, we have a long history of everyone trying to fuck around and finding out.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
I feel like if you treat people like animals, they're gonna act like animals. And you get a question, and then you act.
And then you act like you act shocked because I bit your ass.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Stonewall. Same thing.
Right? Exactly.
Right? And then what happened? Voices were heard.
Yeah. But it was okay because white people mostly.
Yeah.
No.
But also, like, Gavin Newsom also said, like, he agrees that people have the right to protest in this very moment. He said that he believes that people should be out there and they should be calm, nice, and peaceful and continue to do what you do. And
they are.
So, I mean, what are you going to do? Attack the citizens again? I guess we'll see how it continues to play out.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos, like they're locked and loaded. That's non-lethal bullets, but they're still locked and loaded and ready to shoot.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem that I have is if you want people to protest, then why are police out here? Like, let people protest and let people do what they're going to do. Because protests need to be disruptful. Because otherwise you're not going to listen.
I keep rewatching the video of that Australian reporter getting shot with a rubber bullet.
Oh, yeah.
And I just keep looking at the officer who did it, and then he's just like standing there like nothing, and all of a sudden he just like does it, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
And these are the people that we need to be like respecting and saying like, oh, don't dox them and whatever the fuck. Like,
and that's another thing. Like, if you're on the right side of history, you're doing something right and just, then why you need to hide your identity?
Exactly.
Like, you just need to own it.
Stand on it.
Right?
Stand on it.
Right?
Oh, I'm trying to protect my family. We ain't worried about your family.
Yeah.
They ain't do shit. You out here.
You made the decision to take this line of work.
Right. Did you guys see that video of the raid that happened in DTLA where I guess the car, like there was a protester that was blocking the car.
Oh,
was, like,
yeah.
Oh
going-
yeah,
he
and
was
it
going-
just
and he ran him over, and the
Yep.
guy actually fell unconscious,
Mhm.
and then the car, reversed back, and then actually just took off.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you did that in real life, like, well, which it is real life, but if
Yeah.
you did that, like, just on a normal day, you'd be going to jail.
That's
That's,
a hit and
that's
run.
a felony hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I don't believe in peacefulness this time,
Yep.
because we're seeing all that and all
Yep.
that
Right.
hostility. Like, it's hella violent towards the community who's trying to protect themselves.
Exactly. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
You're meeting them with anger
yeah,
and force
mm-hmm.
and expect them to be fucking kind.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck is your problem?
Yeah,
And then you see all these like lame ass people in the comments who are just like, I don't know, like defending the cops, just saying like, what are they saying? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Just like the people who are like on obviously the wrong side, just trying to like be like, oh, they're violent, so they should be getting hit or whatever the fuck they're saying.
mm-hmm.
And it's just like,
Like, who was
I
that?
don't
That was the
know.
feds. Like, there was a guy that was at the 101 throwing bricks at their windows as they was passing by.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about it's a
Too.
50K reward and shit.
yep.
Like, motherfucker, don't
Like-
nobody care.
yeah,
no
girl,
one's gonna
bye.
turn them
Don't
in.
nobody motherfucking care. But I guess I've seen it recently that somebody said, and I don't know if it's true because they don't even look like the same individual facially
Uh-huh.
and or body type, but like they found who he was.
Yeah, there
and
was a
just
face that they put
Right.
out. Yeah.
But I was like, that don't even look like the same dude.
Well, allegedly, they have all these like technologies where they can scan your pupils and your whatever the fuck, and they can just find you like that in
Yeah,
your
that's
phone.
what they claim.
So
But they can't find right motherfuckers they want to get out the country.
exactly. So I don't know. They probably just grab some random guy,
Yeah.
but that's also pointless to do. Like to grab a random person and frame them as the
I mean, that's
The
what.
brick
You gotta
But I
show
think it's
justice.
because they're
Right.
like, oh, we have the technology,
Yeah.
we know who it is,
We
but then
got
it's
you.
Like,
Mhm.
okay.
No.
It's fear. Everything they're trying to do is very
It's-
fear-based. If they can scare you, they can get you into accordance. And I was actually reading something about like, oh, people want this to be peaceful, and peaceful works. I was reading the person said that peace works when your oppressor has a conscience. And if they
Mhm.
don't, then like it's not. So you
Yeah.
have to meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Face to face.
mm-hmm.
and we know he has no conscience.
Exactly.
Or these people like
Yeah,
this,
who are doing this, yeah.
administration. It's
Mhm.
like really crazy. But I think a lesson for us is just to know that like history has a way of repeating itself, and
Mhm.
violence was used before. Anger and screaming and protesting, and I feel like honestly right now that's kind of like, I guess, like really our only resort. This is one way that we can exercise our rights. But even then, as they're being violated, it's like, we just got to kind of stand together in the numbers and keep having conversations about this. And yeah, I don't know, just, keeping our heads up high and checking in on our
Yeah.
mental health and making sure that our neighbors are okay. Because, we have to take care of each other at the end of the day,
That's
So,
facts.
I think they have to figure out a way to like stop ice. Obviously.
I mean-
but it's like, how do you stop ice?
melt it.
Right.
Good job. How
I
do we
mean,
melt ice?
I think that's what people were trying to do. That's why people were interfering, getting in front of buses,
Mhm.
and
Yeah. Stopping
yeah,
traffic and shit.
yeah,
That
stopping
got the-
traffic. And Paramount, they got like cinder blocks and like the Home Depot carts and put them in the street so they can block the way. So I think it's that. And I think that's why important for people to be out there for the federal building the whole time, because then they're going to just start doing their shit at night and moving
Mhm.
people at night, and there's going to be no way to interfere. I'm all about interference.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the other day where I saw like a regular like sheriff car, like SUV or whatever, driving by, and then I was just like, like feeling all gross about it, just like looking at it, and then I'm like, wait, I kind of always felt this feeling when I looked at them. It's like, yeah, like there's like super shitty psychos right now, but like they've always still been super shitty psychos,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I feel like they're trying to brand themselves as if like they're like more hardcore, but like they've always been this same flavor.
Yeah.
They just have like, I don't know.
A different packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think that's true. Like, there's been deportation, forever. Like,
Mhm.
Obama did a lot of deportation. Yes, he like did some pass some laws to like make it easier and do some other things, but like he still deported a lot of people as well. So I think like this isn't a Republican thing. This is something across the board, right? Immigrants have been under attack under every administration.
Correct.
True. So don't get jaded, y'all, because this has always been happening to you. But I do enjoy seeing like the images of like the hot dog lady on the freeway. Did you see that?
I actually did not.
It's like you ever seen get a street dog on the 110?
Right.
But I'm like, dang, the
We're
101
hard working, y'all. We even worked during protests.
Was she actually selling on the freeway?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So you got to see. We got to make our money one way or another, and we're hustlers. So,
But I'm like, dang, is this like what it's gonna look like when we're at war? Like the 101 is our battleground. Like I guess like
No,
the
like shit,
freeways
it's like
is
shit.
like
Yeah,
where we're
wherever
doing the
we
fighting.
need to meet them motherfuckers at is where we gonna meet them at.
Mhm.
And if that's gonna be on the 101, that can be at the fucking Staples Center.
Yeah.
That can be at motherfucking Beverly Hills. Whatever the fuck they want to do.
Oh, that's a great idea. We should just move all the energy into Beverly Hills.
Well, I
Right.
actually saw that Beverly Hills was having like a pro-Trump thing. Like there was a bunch of
Fuck
people out there with the
them.
American flags
Yeah,
out
fuck
in
them.
Beverly
See.
Hills.
I could see that.
Gross.
Yeah.
It is really like off-putting when you do this, like see the one-off like Trump flag every once in a while, and it's like,
Oh,
what the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
are you doing in my neighborhood, bitch? I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to beat your ass. You're in the wrong hood.
Yeah.
There's actually one in Belmont Shore that I've seen.
Really?
Oh yeah. There's some in Lakewood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Lakewood's motto is like times change, values don't. You know, I think that says enough.
Times change.
Enough.
Values don't. We're always racist. Segregation
Bitch,
never.
you thought.
Right. But yeah.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Any other ideas or comments about the hard times that LA is going? Well, the country is going through, but like in regards of like,
Well,
hopefully it's. I don't know how long it's gonna last.
For anybody who's not in LA who's listening, no, we're not like the war isn't outside our
Right,
door.
we're not under
We're
fire.
chill.
Like Trump go get on the fucking news talking about, oh, if I didn't send the
National
the
Guard.
National
Uh-huh.
Guard and the Marines, LA would have
All
burnt
the
down.
death.
Oh my God. Calm
Sir.
down,
I was like,
girl.
burn down, bitch. We already did burn down.
Yeah.
Right, we every summer.
I actually read that when he deployed the National Guard, he didn't give them. There was nowhere for them to stay. They didn't have housing. They didn't have food,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they didn't
Nothing.
have nothing.
Mhm.
They were
So-
sleeping on each other. Like
Yeah.
on the floor.
So
I
this is
saw
how
that.
well you're taking care of these people.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then I heard some of them didn't even want to deploy.
There was a lot of them didn't deploy
Right,
Wow.
because it's
Sad.
it's a
because
choice.
that's not
Good.
what the fuck that's not their goal.
Yeah.
Good job.
They took an oath
Yeah.
to protect the civil liberty of citizens.
Yeah, and I love that some of them didn't deploy.
Right,
Cool.
like that's not
badass.
that's not my oath, motherfucker.
Mhm.
This your shit.
Yeah, and I heard with the Marines, they were trying to come up with a protocol of how to come face to face with civilians and citizens because Marines are not trained to deal with American citizens.
Right, they
Yeah.
always on the
They would-
ruha.
Yeah, exactly.
They on the go.
they're in
Like,
war.
Better treat us
the
nice,
fuck?
bitch.
Right. So that's very interesting. You know,
Right.
I wonder what all that looks
Now
like.
let's see. So they're gonna pop up in mass too.
That is funny because even when you do like ever see like a army military person in like civilian world,
Mhm.
they always are just like quiet and awkward and don't talk.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's like you're supposed to be like the advertisement for America, bitch. And you're just like acting weird.
You're a terrible spokesperson.
You just make me feel guilty that I didn't serve this country.
No. But it's very interesting. You talked about like history repeating, and here's Trump releasing Marines in LA and the Zoot Suit riots. Have y'all heard about the Zoot Suit riots?
I
don't
have
really
not.
know.
I don't
Yeah.
know a lot of history about that.
Yeah, so the Zoot Suit riots happened in, let me pull up, in the 30s, I believe, and it was the Marines attacked some Latinos, and at the
Really?
time we wore zoot suits, and that turned into kind of the Zoot Suit riot. If y'all ever heard like of the
Oh,
musical,
okay, yeah.
yeah. So it's interesting that it's Marines again.
Again.
coming in facing some Latinos.
Funny.
That's very crazy. Well, in this little moment while you pull it up, you had said if we had any other suggestions on how we can kind of like, be active. I want to give it like a shout out to Shira LA. It's the Coalition for, Human Rights in Los Angeles. And it's an organization that actually supports and like is able to advocate for immigrant communities and families. They support them with like lawyers and, different types of resources. So their website is chirla.org, and you can give there, and it really helps, support just, any sort of legal services, labor disputes, anything that comes with immigration law or employment law for immigrant communities.
Okay, that's good.
Very
to know.
cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that.
We always, gotta help each other out, and I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of conversation on what we're talking about today. So I think it's a good way to kind of just, share some resources here.
And what about you, sir?
I ain't got nothing.
You haven't been affected personally.
I mean,
how are you feeling?
I
as a gay black man in America?
I mean, the same that I felt hundreds of years ago. I'm reincarnated. So,
Okay. So you're above all this?
So it's bullshit. But I haven't been. I'm always affected because I treat people how I want to be treated, and I will never treat nobody like this. And it sucks because it's also like you don't know what you can do and what avenues you can take to protect someone. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know that I stand for righteousness, right versus wrong. And what's happening now is flat out wrong.
Yep.
Did you read Anne Frank?
Back in the day, yeah.
Just ask.
Is that what? Oh,
curious.
did she?
Would you harbor
Did she?
Anne in your attic?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to put that on. I don't want to get you arrested. Since obviously that's what's happening.
I'm like, shit. Shit. My kin folks, look.
He's like, well, maybe not.
In reality though,
Anita,
as a individual who is one with the universe, I would die for righteousness. For right versus wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I live life to the fullest every day I can, because I will die for righteousness. You know what I mean? Like right will always, I don't want to use the word Trump, but top wrong.
Ooh.
well, everybody, whether it's Anne Frank,
how is your family taking it?
My you know what's so crazy is
because they voted for him.
Is my dad did not. However, my dad is also so non-political, but my sister is telling me that he is actually trying to go to a protest himself.
Oh.
Him and his woman. And I'm like, what the fuck? And his woman used to be a Republican. And we had brainwashed the fuck out of them over time enough so that she learned, and that he, I guess, became more silently woke.
Okay.
And so I guess my sister, because also I feel like I was the first political person at all in my family. Just probably being gay is part of it, but my dad, I don't even think he voted before I did. I started voting as soon as I turned 18, and he never, I don't think, was voting at all.
Wow.
And then eventually he started. Anyways, so now he's actually trying to go to a protest. I'm like, what the fuck? That's nice. That's a
awesome.
lot of
That's
transformation
right.
from you and your Republican woman to now she's wanting to go to a protest too. That.
But they didn't say which part of the protest.
They say on the good side.
Because you never know until you show
They're
up.
not trying to be.
Man, what the fuck you doing over there?
They're not trying. They're not trying to be in the Klan's hood. But yeah, but also personally, my fiance's mother is an immigrant, but she is a citizen. But it's also they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. They're doing it to citizens.
Fuck your immigration. I'm scared to get snatched up too, and I'm not just a regular person.
Right.
They're gonna snatch me up just for talking on this damn podcast.
Yeah.
The fuck. You know what I mean? They're gonna snatch us all up. And that's the moral of the story, is we're all gonna get snatched up.
And that's what I don't. That's why I don't understand why people don't feel like this is just targeted towards
one group.
They're seeing how far they can get,
and
they're just going to try to. If you ain't on their side, and back in the day, they used to say, if you ain't with me, you against me.
Mhm.
Then you got to go.
Yeah. What's that saying? When they came for them, I didn't say anything, and blah blah blah. And when they came for me, there's no one else to speak up.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, that's a reality.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. I mean, I am even scared because, like, my boyfriend or my fiance looks like he is Latino because he is. And they don't give a fuck. They just go round you up for being brown.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so what? He has all his information. He's just brown. Like,
They not looking for no information.
Right?
exactly.
Exactly.
They don't
So,
give a fuck.
so I
They're
mean, I
snatching people
personally
up.
do feel like, oh, like, please, like, text me that you got to work, and please text me that you got to the place that you went to. So,
Yeah.
like, I know
See?
that you, like, didn't disappear.
Yeah.
It's terrorizing.
Yeah, it is
Literally
terrorizing.
yeah.
I'm terrorized. Good job. Y'all did it. Y'all terrorized me.
Oh man.
Actually, Guy asked me on Sunday when we were at the bar at the men's room. He had said, he's like, "Are you scared?" And I'm like, "About what?" He's like, "Well, are you scared that they're gonna like snatch you up?" And it kind of got me by surprise. I didn't really like think of
about it.
but like 24 hours later, seeing everything going on the news, and again, like it actually kind of like sat with me, and then I'm like, oh shit, like it could potentially happen. Like it really could. I'm like, I'm pretty brown, and
yeah.
I don't look white passing at all, or I mean, you can tell I'm Latino or Mexican, so yeah, it could potentially happen. But as I said, I'm not like scared that I'm gonna be deported. I mean, it's happened to other people, but I feel like I think they're trying to stop that, or I don't know.
Right.
But there's a possibility. When you look like, if you look like something, then they're gonna be like, well, why not? We'll take you too. But unfortunately, not everybody has like that privilege of feeling like, okay, well, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The terror is real, y'all.
It is.
Help us. Help us. Somebody. I almost feel like, oh, we're gonna roll up that gate, and then the cops or ICE is gonna be right out there, and they're gonna be like, "We hear you.
Right?
We hear you talking."
Walter's the only one that's go home.
They're like, "Sorry, you're gay." Also,
Don't say shit. I'm calling my lawyer now.
And that's the thing, we need to know our rights too, right? Like if ICE comes knocking, don't open the door for them. They need a warrant, and it has to be, it needs to be legit. So
They be breaking down doors though too.
Oh,
I've been
really?
seeing- Yeah.
damn,
breaking
record
down-
everything.
Yes, literally record
And
everything.
I actually heard they said to record horizontal, not vertical, because court will not take a vertical video
What?
compared to a horizontal video.
What?
I keep hearing TikToks and like videos about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
the thing the court do is like kind of confusing sometimes to me.
They're just like, don't do it. We said you can't. And then you continue to do it.
It's real video, but it's not evidence. Sorry.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But yeah, and I think if you're out protesting and you get arrested, there's like groups like Jail Support LA that can help you with bail or help someone that is arrested with bail. And Orale LB is the organization out here that is part of the rapid response team. So I think what happens is people report ICE spottings, and then they send people to go and do like warnings and to like start protesting. Yeah. So, and it posts it where the raids are. So we need to start reporting those.
I actually do have a friend that was telling me that he was at a party in the park, like a little picnic or something, some like family barbecue or some shit. And then there's some like random racist white person came and was like upset that they were partying. And so the lady called ICE on them, and they literally took some people away. And it literally just happened as simple as fucking that.
Wow.
That, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. But I mean, all the racist people are very emboldened right now, so they just feel like they can really just do whatever the fuck they want. And honestly, they really are.
Yeah, they really
They
are.
really are doing whatever the hell they want. But
Are you personally affected, Mr. Doctor? Mr. Doctor?
Not like personally affected. I don't know anyone who's gotten picked up by ICE. I do have a few friends who are undocumented, and they're kind of like laying low, like I said. But what's today? Today's Berry Tuesday. all my sessions this week have been addressing. We've had to talk about ICE and the impact of what's happening here in California. So like everyone's being affected, and not all my clients are Latino. You know, I have a very diverse clients, and all of them are talking about it and talking about how it's impacting them, how they're scared and how they're worried, how they're worried about for people in their community. So I don't know. I think that's why I'm feeling so much about this, because I'm hearing about it like 8 hours a day, and I'm having my own feelings about it and seeing the videos. And yeah,
The therapist needs a therapist.
it does. I do. We always do. But
Check in on your strong ones.
yeah, so I think that's why I use that word rage, because that's like I really feel like, because it's just disgusting what is happening, and I love seeing people protesting and people like fucking shit up, and I think we need to do more of that, and that gives me hope, you know, and that gives me some light at the end of the tunnel.
There's actually a protest going on right now here at Long Beach.
I love it.
So yeah, so they sent out. So there was a protest going to happen at City Hall at 5.
Oh, okay.
There were also one happening. There's a few of them happening throughout LA, but the police department did send them out, letting them know that this is, you know, structured, non-violent protest, but just want to put it on people's radar. So there's a few happening in LA and Pasadena, but also it was 2 here in Long Beach. One was like at 1 to 3, and then 5 to 7 downtown Long Beach at City Hall. And I think it's in coordinates with, I think there's a City Hall meeting today. So I think that's probably a great timeline for why that protest took place today at City Hall.
Yeah, it says it's near City Hall. Some protesters were blocking the rightmost lane as they marched between the convention center and Civic Center. They're calling on Long Beach City Council to invest millions more into anti-deportation fund. That's what the movement is for.
I love that.
So, some things that you can do if you are not trying to get out in those streets also is you can support legal aid organizations. You can donate or volunteer with organizations that provide legal support to undocumented immigrants and families affected by ICE. Some examples are the Immigrant Defense Project and National Immigration Law Center. If you're multilingual, especially Spanish or indigenous languages, volunteer for translation or phone stuff, you know? I don't know. 2, you can write letters or call elected officials, which, you know, always works. Not. Contact local and national representatives and to demand they support pro-immigrant policies like abolishing ICE, ending detention quotas, etc. Also, bail bonds funds donates to immigrant bail bonds and bond funds to help release people from detention. One example is the National Bail Fund Network, or a local fund specific to immigrant communities. You can this almost sounds like I'm going to be saying something illegal now if I say offer housing or support to undocumented people. But I mean, do what you do with your own time. You can also educate yourself and others, learn about ICE practices, and share that information on social media. You know, blasting it out and like showing like the really like nasty shit that they're doing, I feel like really does help like just show people the carnage. And I feel like when people see the nasty carnage, I don't know, I hope that it strikes a chord in somebody. I don't know. Does it? Do you guys think that works? Seeing that?
The people that voted for him, no.
Sure.
It doesn't. I don't think it's moving anybody.
Right.
To be honest. And I only say that because I've had like deep conversations actually like with one of my girlfriends, like her man is a Trump supporter. And he's always like gloating about like, oh, look, I love you. And he's basically just trying to say like, wow, because he voted for Trump and he would wear, you know, his Trump hat when we were around in the house or like when we'd go visit. And she has to tell him like, dude, like none of these people like Trump and you're inviting them to your home. Yeah. He's like, well, it's my home. We're like, well, then don't invite them then. Basically, like she's basically saying like, why would you, you know? So they had started having problems because it was just making us feel uncomfortable. And he has not switched his tune at all. Like right now he's posting and he's like, you know, you came here illegally, and the ironic part about this is that he's actually not white. He's Korean.
Oh.
Korean American.
Child.
So I'm like,
all shapes and sizes.
I'm telling you, yeah, you know, but I think once you're like in that headspace, it's really hard to break out of that delusion, you know?
The Lulu.
Literally.
Yeah.
So,
because you next.
I mean, because you get indoctrinated so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You a fucking next.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, you're here because of immigration. Like, you're here, you're an immigrant. Like, your family, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
but so, then people do this, I came the correct way, the quote unquote, you know. It just means you had money and you had privilege, and that's not reasonable to expect everyone to have.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy that, you know, I think we're minorities in the eyes of the nation, but for him, he feels like one step ahead of, I think, like Latinos or just other, like if like he's made it because he's at where he's at, and he's like with the white counterparts in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, proximity to whiteness is a thing, right? Like I think you get certain privileges to your proximity, even if you're kind of, even if you're not white, you know. I think I've heard of the what is it? Not token, model minority, yes, which a lot of Asian people get swept into, you know.
I think if you do have like whiteness proximity, that you should try as hard as you can to like bend your influence in there, because just like how my dad had like a Republican girlfriend or whatever, well, I guess now she wants to go to the protest against him. So that
took time though.
It did take time, but that's all we have is we have nothing else to do. We have nothing else to do but like the real work at this point.
And the hard part about that is that's not everyone's job. Some people are not going to be good at talking, convincing people to change their mind, because that's a process. You have to be patient and you have to be diligent.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That is not your part of this revolution, you know, but we need to start identifying people who can do that work and who can go and talk to people like this, because that's the only way it's going to happen. You know, or if you can, you need to build your frustration tolerance and your patience to have these difficult conversations.
I think we also need to like start finally pushing our dollar for real. And like that's the only way that anything seems to get done in this country. That's the way that the evil side is doing it with all their fucking money. Yep. They all are all just like pitching into the same fucking shit. I think we all need to just get on the fucking board and like put the money, because as far as my whole political career has gone, I have never put any donation of money to anybody ever, and that's like my political stance is like they shouldn't be getting my money. It's like they should just be running on
prayers and thoughts
thoughts and prayers, and like they should just be doing what I want them to do, and that should be the end of the story. They shouldn't need money for anything. But I mean, like, I guess I understand that you need money for what? Advertisements to reach people. But I mean, I don't know.
They use some of that, the campaign funds for like advertisement, radio, print. They use it for staffing. They use it for like renting out, you know, arenas and all that stuff to like, you know, have these conventions and things of that nature. So it's really, really costly.
But that should change too. Like, why are we like capitalizing on like elections? Like, this is democracy.
Well, I've always,
you know, like the people shouldn't have to pay for that. We shouldn't have to pay for that. Don't we pay money in taxes? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it always is like pretty weird that it's so clear that even when like other organizations, like, I don't know, like let's say like ABC News or whatever holds like the election, what is it, like debates or whatever, or even like the primaries, they don't even have every single person who's on the ballot. They just have the main people who have the most money. And it's like, okay, well, like if you could literally have a platform where like it doesn't matter how much somebody spends on advertisement, you could just have them speaking. Because they're on the fucking ballot. But it doesn't even work that way. It's just like, it doesn't work that way. But it doesn't. So I don't know what to do. Let's just continue burning Waymo cars.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Because I guess that's where we're at.
Throw some bricks. Throw some bricks during Pride Month.
Right? Do something. But yeah, throw your money at something. I don't know. Throw your money at it.
I mean, you can't. I think that's important. Like, people are getting arrested, so like we can support bail funds for the protesters.
Yeah.
Because I think that's necessary as well.
Yeah.
And I would say even it's free to do this, but to vote. I think people, we get complacent and then people are like, well, we're in California or we're probably going to be okay. Or, maybe not having those conversations with our family members. Maybe, like your dad, he didn't vote for a long time, but you've done it, right? Like you've got him to kind of be more open and accepting. And, I think that's like something that other people can do, like it affects everybody. So, we can kind of advocate like, it's free. Just register, and when there's an election, especially during the midterm elections, that's always the lower voter turnout.
It is.
A general election is always there's always numbers there, but midterm elections, history says it, the voter turnout is always very low. And those are the ones that matter because those are the local races. And those are, the House of Representatives. Those are some of, the state Senate seats, so I think every election has consequences. It's not whether if it's a general presidential election or if it's a midterm or if it's a local city race, every election has consequences. So make sure you get out, register, and you vote.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to develop more like community aid and focusing on our community because I don't know. We've been voting for a while and we're not getting listened to. So I think we need to focus on, I think we need to not focus on politicians saving us. I think we need to focus on us saving us. And I think we need to be more community-based, more city-based for sure. I agree.
I had like a snap fit and like went on like a apocalypse shopping spree. And I bought like two gas masks and like a lot of like the breather cartridges because you need more than just one to last you for like a little while, for at least 1 to 3 days. So I bought a couple of those, and then I bought these extremely high-powered flashlights that will blind a motherfucker if I need to. So that's kind of like safe because I saw on Instagram like some people's like protesting and they were showing like ways to like combat, I guess, criminals safely. That's not like a weapon, and they just like had high power flashlight on strobes, just blind the fuck out of you, or like also just like laser pointer. And it's like, yeah, just blind the fuck out of your assailant, and you're not actually hurting them.
Guess that do make sense.
So do that. So I bought those. I bought the high power flashlight to get my assailant disoriented. I bought a tent just in case for whatever reason our house collapses and our apartment collapses and we need to live in the street. And then I also bought a sleeping bag for it. It's also like camping analogous.
It sounds like you going on a
2 for
camping
1,
trip,
right?
So.
I even bought like a outdoor like portable toilet that even has like a thing. And then I bought like a ready to go anywhere fireplace. And then I bought like solar panel.
Okay, it sounds like you're getting out of hand now.
And then I bought a solar panel phone charger, basically. Like you can charge it through the sun.
Well,
so
that
if the
sounds
power goes out.
good.
I want to
The
buy like
fireplace, don't know what that's for.
I want to buy an electric generator, but I haven't they're very expensive.
You should get like
They
an
are.
electric battery, like a big one.
I want to get one, but
The one
I'm
that
trying to
we-
like figure out which one.
Oh yeah, they matter.
What else did I get? I got some other
Girl,
things.
you're going camping.
Right.
But it's also like suitable
For
for
everyday purpose.
everyday
Everyday use.
revolution.
Everyday
the collapse
use.
of society. If anybody hears this, that just means that we're at a point where the collapse was headed, and I'm just preparing.
Touche.
I know where to find you then.
Mhm. I also bought radiation pills, so if like a bomb explodes, then I can eat the pill.
Girl, we're too close. You're even closer to where would it land.
Exactly. I need the more pills. Uh-oh. Well, my producers tell me that we're over time. Well, anybody, any happy thoughts to close this out? Any thoughts of hope?
Keep protesting. I love the protest.
That reminds me, did you guys ever see that video of Nancy Pelosi when she came out? She's like, well, I would say good morning, but it is not morning.
Okay, I
That's how you
understand.
feel.
And that's kind of how I feel like.
There is no hope. No feelings of hope because there is none. Well,
I think just stay strong, check in on your loved ones, check in on your neighbors. For the therapists, they need therapy too.
Right.
I'm okay, guys. I promise.
I would say stay vigilant and be mindful because your words can affect someone.
Yeah.
Just because you feel like you may not be directly affected, choose your words kindly
mhm.
and be there for others.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
I love it.
Period, poo.
And,
That sounds nice.
and I would say that you don't have to run yourself ragged to be part of this movement. Rest and self-care is very important, and don't feel guilty in doing that because this is a lot and this is overwhelming. Your nervous system can only handle so much. So take care of yourself in this process so you can continue to do this work. We need to focus on being that this is a long thing. It's about longevity. So we have to take care of ourselves in order to do this.
Oh yeah, another good idea I saw. Shout out to Hoto Turf War. He said that he was giving rides to people to the protest, which is very needed also.
Mhm, mhm.
Free rides.
Yeah, free ride.
I mean, you ain't gonna fucking find parking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't want to take an Uber out there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to offer a ride, offer a ride.
There you go. Different ways to contribute and help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Go look out there, y'all. Go protest.
Stay strong.
Throw a brick.
Because it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna get snatched up. So you might as well fucking be.
If it ain't now, it's gonna be later.
But
So
also, all oppression is intersectional. What affects us affects someone else. So we understand that we're stronger together rather than divided. My oppression is your oppression.
mhm.
I saw some protest video, and they're like, "The people united will never be," and he didn't say divided. He said some other word,
Mm.
and I was like, "Bitch, it's very easy. It's divided."
Sometimes those
I don't remember what they
just get
said, but they
oh.
said they didn't say divided. There's a lot of very easy phrases that these people just mess up a lot, and it makes me angry. Also, why aren't people out there with boom boxes and speakers blasting bumping music to
You said why?
yeah.
Because that gives them the energy.
No, why
to-
aren't they?
Oh, why aren't they?
Exactly.
Oh,
it
shit, I
would
don't
give them
know.
energy.
Because they don't have your solar powered panel thing.
There you go.
That's
Right.
why.
Maybe I need to be out there with the
You do.
boombox. I'll be the DJ of the
Dropping some
apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I found my voice.
Got your reason.
All right, everybody. Is that all?
That is it.
That's it.
From all of us here at the Queer LBC Podcast, I'd like to thank myself, Nino, Dr. Mikey, Christoph, and our very special guest, Andrew. I'd like to say thank you very much.
Thank you guys for having me. It was really a great time, and I would be happy to be back again. Have you guys ever had any other interesting topics?
Awesome.
We'll be happy to have you back.
Yes.
Awesome.
From all of us here at the Queer LBC, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
night.
Sage.